There we go. I think we're recording. Yes, we are. So it's just me and Chris today for all you lazy, work shy hippies
Part-timers.
that are just out there enjoying yourselves while we're slaving over some transposition. Right, okay. So enough of that. So you can catch up when you watch this, obviously. Chris is going to have loads of really interesting, life-changing questions, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So what we're looking at then today, for the second time, is I'm just going to move this cat because he's right in front. Go. Right, so what we're looking at is transposition. So transposition is basically when you change something from one key to another. The purposes of which are multiple. Sometimes, if you're rehearsing and the song you're performing is too high, too low, obviously you have to transpose it to a different key. For different instruments, trumpets, saxophones, French horns, all of those things play in a different key, which will become apparent as we go along. So this is the page from the book, Transposition. In the exam, you will have to transpose a melody. You may need to use any of these intervals. So it will give you a passage of music and it will give you some instructions and it will say, transpose this up an octave or down a major second or up or down a major third or up or down a perfect fifth. So up or down an octave is self-explanatory, isn't it? The key signature will stay the same. It's literally going up or down 8 notes. Up or down a major second, which is just a tone, either way. A minor third, which is a tone and a half. Is that right? Yes, it is. And then up or down a perfect fifth. We know, don't we, all about perfect fifths and stuff. We've been doing intervals for years now. Okay, so these 4 intervals are used by transposing instruments in the orchestra. You can read more about them in the AB Guide to Music Theory, Part 2, chapters 19 and 20, which of course you all have. Or it's on its way from Amazon. There's a delay. Can you hear like a little clicking?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird that, isn't it? Okay. Is it my voice? No, man, we'll just crack on. When you transpose a melody by a major, minor, or perfect interval, the tonality will remain the same, which means it doesn't go from major to minor, or it doesn't go from minor to Dorian or anything like that. If it's major, it will stay in the major key. If it's minor, it will stay in the minor key. For example, the key of C major transposed down a minor third will be A major, not A minor. So the majors and minors do not move. You studied transposition at the octave in grade 3, of course you did. In grade 5, you will also need to use the alto and tenor clefs, which we've covered extensively so far. When you are familiar with these clefs, it should not be too difficult, but make sure that you do actually transpose the passage rather than merely rewrite it at the same pitch in a different clef. So if it's asked, what it's saying there is, if it's asking you, Chris, can you just mute yourself and see if it's that? Is it that? Okay, I'll carry on talking and see. Okay, so what it's saying is you must make sure that if it gives you a passage of music in C, for example, that starts on middle C, you must put it up an octave to the C above middle C. Don't just put it in a different clef at middle C because you're not transposing it. You're literally keeping it at the same pitch. So you've got to make sure you go up or down as it says. So what it's saying, right, the first exercise we have, oh, okay, there's more instructions. When you are familiar with these clefs, it should not be too difficult. We are very familiar with these clefs now, but make sure that you do actually transpose the passage and also that you transpose it 1 octave, not 2. So the key is really, I think, when we're moving to different clefs, is to figure out where middle C is and then take it from there, and we need to go above and below. So the first question here is rewrite this passage an octave higher or an octave lower in each clef. So they've given us a passage of music. Adagio means slow, poco means little, so we've got a little bit slow, and cantable means like you play it as if it's being sung, if that makes sense, so voice-like, I guess. And it's a string quartet from Haydn. We've got an appoggiatura here, which is a musical marking that we kind of, it's a bit like an ornament on a note, we'll get to that. And then we've got a P, which means quiet, and we've got dolce, which means sweetly. So it's kind of slow and as if it's being sung, and it's sweet and it's quiet. So it's quite an inoffensive sort of piece of music, really, little passage of music. As always, when you are rewriting things, you must make sure that all these markings and slurs and everything go in there as well. So these things here are slurs. It means that the notes kind of bleed into each other, not to be confused with a tie that extends the note, because if it was a tie, they would be the same pitch, because we're carrying on the same note, we're just extending the duration. So these guys here are slurs because all these notes are different pitch. What key are we in, Chris? Test your metal here. What key are we in?
G.
We're in G. Very well done. Or what's the other alternative? Oh.
Is it E? F?
E minor. Well done. Yeah.
E.
So if we're looking for the minor, we go down 3 semitones. So this one's in G, because obviously we're starting in G. It's kind of all around G, and we finished there kind of moving back towards G. It's all, you can see the melody, lots of G's in there, isn't it? It's definitely not around E, so it's G major. Okay, now what it's asking us to do is to write the passage an octave lower in each clef. So we need to figure out where this is in relation to middle C, and then write it an octave lower. So the first note is the tonic, which is G, because we're in G. The first thing we need to do is write in exactly the same key signature and the same time signature, because it will remain in G. The only thing is we're going an octave lower. Okay, so do you want to do that for us, Chris, if you can? Don't worry too much about it being perfect, just even if you just want to put a dot or something, or can you write on it? You're on the hot seat today, aren't you? Because it's only you. I'm going to be like, do this, do that. Yeah, that's the fella. Yeah, good. Okay, so you've put that in the right place, a G. We're in alto clef here, so the G obviously goes in the space there because the middle one's C. Sorry, the F sharp goes there. So it's C, D, E, F sharp. So you put that in the right place. Excellent. You got the time signature in. Now, okay. So we've got a G, haven't we? That's the starting note. We got a G. And it's the G above middle C. So in this clef, we would have C, D, E, F, G there. So it'd be the top line. But it's asking us to transpose it an octave lower, isn't it? So that's where the G, let me just annotate. Okay, so in the original melody, the G would be there, excellent. So it's asking us to go down an octave, so it's going down 8 lines or spaces, or if you know where G is, plonk it on there. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it would start here. Just check that, so we go G, A, B, C. We know middle C is there, so that is correct, isn't it? And then it's just a case of writing the melody in then, the same. So you put your first dotted crotchet in. The next one goes up 1, doesn't it? So you literally go up 1. Sorry, just removing a cat again. He's determined he's going to join in. Good. So the next one we're going, the thing, oh God, that wasn't very good, never mind. But the thing is, we have to make sure that every note follows. So the next one is, do you want to put the next bar in, Chris? So just follow the pattern. So the next one goes up one, doesn't it? And then we go down one, up two, down one. Good, yeah. And then we're back to that note, aren't we? Yep. Good, and then up two this time. So it'll be on the next line. Great, and then we're going to go down one. Excellent. Put your bar line in, etc., etc. And the thing to remember is, I've said this about a million times, but I'm going to keep saying it just in case you forget, is that you must put all the bits and bobs in. So this is just terrible. Obviously you do it loads better than this, and you put in your poco, adagio, so a little bit slow, etc., etc. And yeah, that would be it really. And you'd even have to put the etc. in on the end there, because there's no bar line to finish it. So everything there would go on the next piece that you're writing out. Okay, so the next one, we have tenor clef. So the key signature goes in slightly differently on this one. Can you remember where the F sharp goes?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, so we can't put the F sharp on the top here because there's no space. It's going to be off the clef. So what we have to do is start down there. So if we remember, the lines spell out deface, don't they, or deface on the way up. So the F sharp will go on the second line here. Yep. Now there's two ways you can think about this. So the first way is to do what we did before and figure out where middle C is, and then obviously D, E, F, G. So that's the original melody up there, and then we're going to bring it down an octave. So we've got C, B, A, G. So this time the melody will start there. And we just have to do what we've just done. Or the other way to look at it is, middle C's just been moved up, hasn't it, to the next line from the previous one. So you can just copy off that, but if it's in that space, it's going to be the space above. If it's on that line, it's going to be the line above, etc., etc. So do you want to fill in a little bit of that? Get rid of that. Obviously, you put your time signature in there as well, which I haven't done. Yeah, good. Very rubbish time signature, there you go. Yeah. Yep, etc., etc. But you got the idea, haven't you? That's what it was saying about make sure you don't just put it on the same pitch on a different clef. You have to make sure you're bringing it down an octave as well. So the next one is bass clef. Stick in your time signature and key signature. So this time we will go there. We've got the F sharp, we've got... Right, okay, over to you now, Mr. Ruffley. Where will your first note go? So we're looking at the G above middle C to begin with, and then down an octave. So where is the G below middle C? So that's a D, but you're in the right vicinity. But that is a D because you need to start on a G. Well done. Not on the line though. That's it should be in the space. All cows eat grass, remember. So we should be, yeah, well done. So we should be making sure that it's got the dot on the crotchet, etc., etc. Do you get that? So on bass clef, middle C is there, isn't it? So the G above middle C would be up here, but obviously we're transposing it down an octave. So we go the G below middle C, etc., etc. Anything else to worry about there? And obviously you put all this stuff in again. So that's that one. Any questions so far, Chris?
No, I just kind of wish I had a mouse because using this trackpad is very hard.
Oh, you don't got a mouse, and I'm saying put this in and put that in. But yeah, that one is pretty standard, isn't it? I think. The good thing about this melody is that it starts on the tonic. So you just go, we're in G, it's that G, let's put it down an octave. I think things get a bit trickier if we're not in G. We don't start on the tonic. So for example, if it started on the dominant, you'd have to think, right, okay, so it's the fifth of the key. Let's see where that lies, etc., etc. Right, okay, so that is that one. Let me see the next one. So the next one is this one. Can you see this? You still see my screen? Yeah, good, good, good. So yeah, what we have this is the next one, and this time it's asking us to write it an octave higher, which is no great shakes, as we've just got to write it higher instead of lower. Okay, so two possibilities for the key signature. Can you remember what this key signature is?
It's E.
It's E flat, yeah.
E flat.
Yeah, because E's got four sharps, hasn't it? So it's E flat, or alternatively, it's C minor. If we have a little look at the melody, I'm thinking E flat major, starts on a, oh hang on, no it doesn't, we're in bass clef. Yeah, so we're in E flat major, and this time what we have to do is we have to rewrite the clefs and we have to transpose it an octave higher. Allegro, can you remember what that means?
I haven't done that one in a while.
What you said about legging it.
Does it mean fast?
It's fast, isn't it? I always remember that one, like legging it, allegro. So yeah, it's fast, allegro. So you can see this is kind of a Handel thing, Handel's Messiah, in God's We Trust. It's fast and it's in a major key. Okay, so what we need to do initially is to put the new key signature in. Go ahead. Oh, you haven't got a mouse, have you? Just put some dots in, if you can, where the flat should go. Can you remember? So we've got B, E, and A. Okay, that's an A. Should be on the line above, but yeah, you're in the right vicinity. Yeah. Yeah, good. And then put your final one where your first one is. Yeah, good. That's fine. And then the first one should be on the middle line. Okay, well done. So the next thing we have to do is put the key signature in. Time signature even, that's not a key signature. I've only been doing this like 12 years, never mind. And then obviously we can put that rest in, can't we? Because there's no pitch, so that's fine. And we can put in allegro. Okay, so this is the G below middle C, isn't it? Because it's all cows eat grass in the bass clef. Middle C lives here. so it's the G below middle C. We want to put it up an octave, so this time we want to put it the G above middle C. So where will that lie on the stave if middle C is here? Well done. Okay, the only thing you have to be wary of here is that obviously the stems will go the other way around. So you won't put your G on and then put a downwards stem, you put it upwards. Okay, this time we have C. So that's going to be middle C, the next one, isn't it? At the moment it's the C below middle C, but we're putting it the octave up. So the next one is going to be there. And as you can see, the melody moves in a certain way, doesn't it, as well? So it's gone from there down a fifth. And you can just follow the lines and spaces then. So the next two are going to be, yeah, well done. So we'll make that like that. Yep. And etc, etc. So again, you've just got to be wary of putting it up an octave. Next one, same deal. This time we have to put the 3 flats in. So they go in the same order because we're alto clef. But this time the B's there, isn't it? So it's literally going to be one down. Okay, so middle C's there. Originally, your melody is going to be, let me see, not too good, I'm trying to see, D, E, F, G. Yeah, so originally your melody note's going to be there. That's the G, but we're putting it up an octave. So where will your first note go then? If it's up an octave from here, or is the G above middle C? Yeah, well done. And then obviously we just follow. So this one's a fifth down. So that one will go there, etc, etc. So that's that one. And finally we have the tenor clef. Now you don't have to worry with the flats. It's the sharps that you start. So they just start in the same. So B, B, A. Time signature. Okay, so where is your first note going to go then? G above middle C, isn't it? Because originally it's the one below. Yeah, well done, yeah. Hang on, C, D, E, F. So the first note should actually be on the line. That would be your G there. Because we've got C on the line, D, E, F in the space, and G up there. It's dead easy to get this wrong if you don't get the first note right, because obviously you're following the patterns, and then if the first note's wrong, so it's a good idea to just check occasionally that you've got the right note. So for example, in the bass clef, these are D, and they're the D below middle C, but we're putting it up an octave. So are these D? Yes, they are. So just check that you're on the right track occasionally in the bars. Okay.
It's just we're putting the little stamps on. That's all it is. So I do know. I do mean for it to be what it is. It's just
right. Yeah, it must be really tricky without a mouse. I don't even know how you're doing that. So yeah. So the next one then, what we're looking for is to start on the G above middle C. So where will that one go then, Chris? I'll only just make you put the first note in, and then obviously you could follow it, couldn't you? With the line through it, that one. So we'd have middle C is here, C, D, E, F, and then G. So you have to just make sure you're on the right now, and obviously put all the in there, etc, etc. Okay, you all right with that one? Yeah, so up and down an octave, grand. And let's just see. Go away. Why isn't it going away? Oh, never mind. I'll just do this. And then let's see. Now this is a bit of a trickier one. Not in terms of the notes really, hang on. Not in terms of the transposition itself, but it's trickier in terms of kind of remembering all the bits going, because there's a bit more to it, isn't there? There's some, it's a bit of a weird time signature. Vif, don't know what that means. I'm going to check out, I'm guessing that's German. I'm going to check out my German terms. Any guesses? What do you reckon Vif means?
Probably short.
It's a short word, isn't it? That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's not in any of the ones you have to know for grade 5, so that makes complete sense, doesn't it? You just have to rewrite it. Let me see what it means. Vif, I don't know. Vif, music. Very lively, apparently. See, told you this.
Right, makes sense.
Told you this was going to be life-changing, didn't I? What did I say? You were going to have your little world rocked today. Vif. Right, okay, so very lively. Again, we have a key signature, which could have 2. Oh, it's from the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Okay, so we have a possibility of a couple of key signatures. Do you know what 4 flat is?
A flat.
A flat, well done. And the other option is?
I can never remember it off the top of my head. Is it F sharp or F?
Yeah. You're like, okay, let's put it another way. Let's have a little look at this. Where's my little piano thingy? Okay, so we've got A flat. That was a lot of use making that big, wasn't it? So we've got A flat, which is here. And we go back 3 semitones to find the relative minor. So we've done A flat. We go 1, 2, 3. Well done. So F minor or A flat major. Okay, so what does it indicate to you? What would you say it is? So don't forget now, we're in tenor clef. So what's that first note there? What's that first note? In tenor clef. We're not in tenor clef, we're in alto clef. I'm talking absolute rubbish. So middle C is here, isn't it? Through the middle.
That's would it be F?
It's an F. What's this note?
F.
It's an F. So do we think it's A flat minor or A flat major or F minor?
F minor.
I think that's F minor, yeah. You can kind of see as well, we've got some F minor-y things going on there. Minor third, etc., etc. Okay, so what we got to do is rewrite it an octave higher in treble clef, an octave lower in bass clef. So here's where things get a bit tricky. It's really important to read the question. I am one of these people who kind of skims things. I'm always kind of missing little things because I don't look at the details and I should. So it's really important to kind of to take note of that. So we want an octave higher in treble clef and an octave lower in bass clef. So the first thing to do is to whack your key signature in. Go on, Chris, stick some dots in. Let's see if I can make this a bit bigger. Hang on, before there we go. That's better. And yeah. Okay, so key signature in treble clef. Like I said, literally just put some dots in. Okay, so it would start. I'm just going to put some dots in because I can't be bothered drawing. So we'd start here on the B, below middle C, wouldn't it? And then we just, yeah, well done, that's it. B, E. Yeah, well done. Brilliant. Okay. And then what's the next thing we've put in? Oh, that was quick. That was good. Numbers good. Yeah, we like that. And then we put in our VIF, or quickly, whatever that may be. Never seen that before in my life. Okay, so this time we've figured out that we've got an F and it's below middle C because middle C is the middle line. But we're going to put the treble clef up an octave, aren't we? So it needs to start on the F. Fantastic, well done. Perfecto, proud of you. Okay, and then we put our rest in. Bar line, this is really big, isn't it? So where does the next note go? So the next note is middle C. Brilliant, so we want, yeah, good. So we want the C above middle C. Super cat. Now the next one, what we've got is we've got some accidentals, so you need to make sure that they are accounted for in the new, because obviously they're flat in the key signature, but they've made them natural for the sake of the melody. So the next note here, I'm really bad at alto clef, so it would be an F, E, D, C. Yeah, so that would be, is that right? C below middle C. So in this case, it needs to be a middle C. So we go there. And then we'd have to, obviously, they just go up in sequence then, don't they? Up on the notes. So if you've got that note right, you just go, yeah, good. And then, yeah, and then you'd have to put the naturals in. So if there's accidentals here, you must make sure that they go in the new melody as well. We'll just do that. Yeah, we'll put them in for accidentals, which, look at this, shocking this, isn't it? Looks terrible. Right, okay, so that would be that. Now the bass clef, we need to go an octave lower. So first things first, whack your key signature in, which is going to be, what am I doing? Go on then, Chris, where'd your key signature start? So we've got B, E, A and D. So that'd be a D in treble clef, so it'd start here. And bass clef even, sorry. So you'd have B, E, A, and D. And then go on, numbers guy. You're good at the numbers, whack that in. Grand. And we're going to put our VIF in. Now, okay, so this time, this is the F below middle C. And we want to put it down another octave. We've got to go down in bass clef. So it might be an idea to figure out where our original note is. So middle C's here. F will be here. So that's the original, but now we've got to put it down an octave. So where will that go then? So lines are good boys deserve fruit always, aren't they, or football. Well done. Yeah, so we'll start here. And then just basically follow it. Do you want to put the next note in?
I think I've got notes for the bass clef because I'm not 100% on the bass, and I think my notes are wrong.
Oh, okay. So what have you got?
Well, on my notes, I can't really show because it's too small. Center line's a B, and then underneath that is an A, etc. That's what I've got on my notes.
Center line's a D. So yeah, that's why, isn't it? That's what I was saying. Once you get one note wrong, the whole thing's out of whack, isn't it? So if you remember, all cars eat grass. So that's A, cars eat grass. So that would be, if that's a C, all cars, the middle line's a D, isn't it? So that's why that will definitely throw you off. Okay, so we figured out that our F is there. Now, if F is there, the next note, you can do it like this. So that's on the line, and this note is 2 lines up. So that's in the space. So the next note is going to be 2 spaces up. Let's put a rest in a bar line in A and pretend we're professionals. Okay, so that's the first one. Yeah, good, okay. And you put your stem up. And you can do it this way as well. If you have a look where your notes are, do you know what I mean? You can kind of, so we figured out that this note was a middle C. And we need to go an octave below, don't we, on this one? So if that's middle C, where's the octave below that? So all cows eat grass in the spaces. So it'd be there. All cows. Yeah. Go on, I'll let you put the other 2 notes in, then they just go up sequentially, don't they? Yeah, good. Whack that in. Whack the accidentals in. Shocking trying to draw with this. Etc, etc. So a few things to remember is always read the question properly. See whether it wants to go up or down. On this, I'm a bugger for not reading things properly, honestly. I think I can skim past stuff. So I would probably have read that and just made them both higher. So you need to make sure you read the complete question and make sure they're going where they're supposed to go. Okay, any questions so far, Chris?
No, none.
Right, okay, so that's simple enough because they're staying in the same key, but things get trickier when you're going to start moving up or down a major second. For example, if I was in the key of C major and I wanted to, it's telling me to transpose it up and make, oh, hang on, someone at the door. I'm expecting a parcel, one sec.
What is this? Amateur hour?
Sorry about that. It's Amazon parcel. Okay, so yeah, what I'm saying is they're in the same key, so that's fine. But what will happen is if you start transposing things up a major second, the key changes, doesn't it? So for example, if I've got a passage of music in C major and it's asking me to transpose it up a major second, it then goes into D. So obviously the key signature is different. So that's another thing to worry about, but we'll do that on Friday and have a little look. I think that's probably enough for today, isn't it? Is your head hurting a little bit? Let's test you on some Italian words then before we go. You're definitely in the hot seat today, aren't you? Can you remember any of them? Okay.
Go on.
No peeking. Attacker or attacher?
Attacher. Oh, straight. Go straight onto the next section.
Yes. Go straight onto the next section of music. Doppio movimento.
Ooh. Twice as fast.
Yes. Well done. How did you remember that?
Luck.
I kind of remembered that as in doppio. Dop is two, isn't it? If you have like a doppelganger, it means there's two people that are the same. So doppio and movimento obviously means movement. So two and then quick, too quick. Okay. Lunga.
Long.
Long what though?
Like extended. I don't know. Like a long note.
It's a long pause.
A long pause.
Yeah, but longer, but it's a pause. It's a bit like, you know, if you're in those show bands and then the melody finishes and then they go pause and then they do the big meh and they do the big finish. That's why you would use a long pause in music. Okay. One more then. Dolente.
Dolente's sad.
Well done. Blimey, smashed it. Okay, Chris. Then have we got a message for the workshops before we go?
Well, no. You need to get the little bums into gear, don't they?
They do. Get your little bums into gear. Okay. We got a little while, haven't we? Because this exam's not until next May. But let me see.
It's good to be ahead, though, isn't it?
It's very good, especially as you've got to learn all this Italian and German as well. We haven't even touched the German ones. So on Friday, we shall have a little look at moving things up or down a major second. So, like I said, it's a little bit trickier. There's an example here. And as you can see, the key signature changes, doesn't it? So we've gone from a sharp to a flat there, which means we've gone down a major second from G to F, doesn't it? One sharp to one flat. Yeah, so things get a little bit trickier. I'll take a photo of this now and stick it on the group with this video. And maybe if you want a little sneak preview before Friday along with the other guys, and we'll pick it up at 3 on Friday, eh? All right? Okay. Well, you take care. Oh, hang on, let me, if anybody wants to discuss results now as well, I'll know who's watched this video because they'll be in touch with me by email, but if anybody wants to discuss grades, they are now released. So I'm going to stop recording and then I will just have a look at yours, Chris, and make sure that they are, because they've all been like ratified now, so they're all fine. Okay, stop record. Bye everyone, see you Friday.
Bye.